What's going on, people? Welcome. Thought I'd come on and do another update and just highlight where we are at the moment and to bring awareness to many things where it's all about perspective, and we have to really pay attention to what is taking place right now, because we're going to be in for a number of shocks if we are holding on with attachments, and also if we are continuing to repeat the words of other people. Like, we're at a stage now where we have to confirm things ourselves, and you can see things are really spicing up now. The fact that the mainstream media are reporting on exactly the same things that the truth movement are reporting on. We're seeing every day there's things being released with Epstein, and people are still getting frustrated that we already know this information, but it's a sign. It's showing that there's not many things that can go higher than that. You've got Pfizer, which is the spying on Donald Trump, Obama, which is going to be 1,000 times worse than Watergate. So that is pretty much the highest of the highest. Epstein is going to be up there too, with all the sex trafficking, all the blackmail, and all the documents that they have on all these elites from around the world. You've got the wars that are still continuing, mainstream media. And if you look at what else there is to come, there isn't too much, apart from you've got the election fraud, which ties in January the 6th. They all fall underneath. So we're literally at the very highest point now. It's dominoes. We've already been told that. So dominoes will start falling, and it has to go to the very top to get the world paying attention. It's a mass awakening. And there's only a few names that could be recognised from around the world. For me, it's got to be Obama or King Charles. Yet Obama's going to be more relevant, I feel, because more people know who he is, and more people are going to be shocked with the things that they're going to find out about him. At the moment, Biden's taken all of it, all the slack and all the blame, and everything that is gone on Biden will be staying with Obama too. So welcome, people. A lot is happening. It's exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing our future. Indeed. Welcome, Helen. Who else we got on? Hi, Sheila. Good to see you. So welcome, people. The last few days have been quite interesting, and again, I'm watching the truth movement all the time now, just the way that they report, and you can see it's clear. Fear or love, that is the two parts. If we're in full control, if we know Trump is commander-in-chief, which we all can see now, if we know it is a military operation, that we've won. There would be nothing to be fearful of just having that, especially if you're a truther and you're putting out this information. Yes, the other way. It's like, no, you've got to hold on now, be prepared, civil war, look what they're doing, and they're corrupt and blaming governments and blaming CIA and FBI and that stuff. They're blaming, but we're in full control of everything. They're putting things out on mainstream. No, we're in full control. That on its own should be quite clear to see. Like, it's panic stations for a lot of people. And you've also got to realise that there's, from what we've been looking at, it's the good guys versus the bad guys. But bad guys have been split up. Bad guys that did all the work for the elites broke away from the elites. The politicians, the big pharma, the big tech, they broke away from them too. They used to do all the dog work in the lower levels of society. They pulled all the things together. They linked everything together. The legal system, like debt slavery, bondage slavery, like all these sort of things. They've been a part of that. But it's knowledge, it's information. 2020 was a year where everyone was desperate to wake up. That was their people. So when we keep saying we and our and they and them, the person saying it is mostly speaking about a different they and them to who you're looking at they and them. So again, you just have to take everything from perspective. It's still the same information, but it's where we're getting to now, where I can see it all unfolding, of names like Tom Hanks, Ellen DeGeneres, Oprah, that sort of thing. But also on the flip side with Freemasons, CIA, FBI, the people that are saying they're bad, and people going along with it because that's what we've been shown as a narrative, you're going to get to a point where you're going to be wrong about everything, and that's where fear really kicks in. And that's where it has to take us to, because we're all still fast asleep. We're still relying on other people to feed. That's the whole point of this awakening. What's your thoughts on Miami? We say distraction, but it's just things being put out there now. When you say distraction, a distraction from what? That's what all I would encourage, to try to answer that question. What would the distraction be from? And they're saying, it's Project Bluebeam and there's aliens and stuff. There was just some video footage. It didn't look like anything at all. Remember, these people need to distract. The only distraction can be when the people reporting it. It's really interesting. So CIA, and you'll see in loads of pages saying, there's scum there, or the CIA people, they're good. You can argue with that all you want. They're the ones that have managed to piece together this whole criminal organisation around the world, the Central Intelligence Agency, set up by Harry Truman. They serve with distinction. Contractors over the years, there's been corrupt ones. People like Steve Brennan and things like that, they have been bought out. But there's just a small, and that's all done by design, knowing that all of God's creation gets corrupted. Freemasons is another one. It goes back to the Catholic Church. It goes back to satanic worshippers. They were against the church because they were showing science. They were the ascended masters. They were the people that made all the buildings. They're the ones that drew the maps. They're the ones that created all of the narrative even then, the languages, everything. Knowing that at some point evil will take hold of it, and then evil will use it for their own benefits, power, control, greed, land distribution. Like that happens all the time, but that's been intention there. FBI, you're seeing now on the news with the January the 6th again, and the way it's being reported, FBI has still got the tapes. FBI not really. We're in control. FBI are the best at what they do. Again, people get challenged, but where are you getting your information from? The mainstream media and the truth movement, fake news and fake news. FBI serve with distinction. They were inside job. They were the ones that planned the Ashley Babbitt fake death. Because they had to catch all the people that would go into the January the 6th peacefully, all planned. But that was part of the insurrection, to let the media do what they could to try to put the blame on Trump. They knew that was happening. That's why they all got done for it. Hi Dan, good to see you. So those three, and DOJ, NSA. NSA, no such agency, which you can search on QPOS. Clowns in Action, that's CIA too. So it's code names. Again, perspective. They're the ones that have done all the work. They're the ones that have pieced it all together. They're the ones that have made technology like this, that they can just switch it on and get access to everything. Go watch Fear City, continue to say that. Go watch the films with the CIA. There's a lot of Mark Wahlberg films. Watch The Messiah with CIA in that. They all talk about it is truth and truth only. Like there's a legacy with what they do. It's once you're in the CIA, it's a life job. So you hear other people like what's his name? Jacko. He was a contractor. It wasn't CIA. And then you had Tim Ballard that was like a contractor. It wasn't CIA. CIA is a job for life. So you ground me so much. Thank you. Hi Leslie, good to see you. Who else we got? First time caught you live. Welcome Simone, Louise. Hi KB. Yeah, so welcome people. And again, people, all I'm asking is be prepared. Everything that I've been putting out there, you can see it challenges a lot of people, and also it's not received very well, and it doesn't get shared. It doesn't get even to... The thing is, if someone's putting out stuff all the time and it's wrong, I would be going, that's why it's wrong. They don't even talk about it. Like, they don't want to know because they know it's right. They know it will catch them out if they talk about the things like the Freemasons. So that's going to be hard, but just use your logic. The number 33 that they tell you so bad, so evil, they leave it in plain sight. We saw COVID, 33 was everywhere. Everywhere. In the wars, you can type in any country and click bomb next to it. Search bomb 33 and you'll see that's military. That's free. That's us leaving it. We control the news. We control the narrative. We definitely control COVID. Their military operation. Who else would be doing it? even at this point now, if you think the evil, there's not much time left for them. You can see there's panic, right? So why would they be making productions, and why would they be making movies and leaving even more clues in when their life is on the line, when everything is about to be exposed? Why would they take the time to do a whole Hollywood production still? Think about it, people. Like, just logic like that, we ignore. We don't want to go there. And if you go back, the only reason why you see certain things is because you see the number 33 in a field. There you go, they've left. That's us, knowing that you only can connect the dots going backwards. High Bite Master Gold. So I'm really hoping that all this does is just bring awareness, because what will happen is there will be an event and there will be certain things taking place where we're all going to start getting, oh. And it's all going to come at once. And all of a sudden it's going to leave you in a position, if you're going with the narrative, with the attachment so strong and the defense that comes with some of these people, it's all unconscious, because it's a collective way that the responses come. It's all the same. I say parrots. You repeat like a parrot. You follow like a sheep. You're waiting for someone else to tell you the information. You're not even willing to go and do it. So that's a repeated one. So as I said, the twists and turns at the end is done on purpose. Remember, it has to show the masses the deception and darkness in its entirety. That's the whole system, every part of it, which a lot of people sharing information are part of that system. So how we are able to see 33 again? How are we able to see it? I'm not sure what you mean by that one. It was based on the Rolling Stones song, KGB, British Consulate and the CIA. I watched some of Denzel older movies, Unstoppable, On the Train, 777, watched Deja Vu. It's easy for me to see now. Love that, Houston. And that's the beauty. Then you start seeing these actors know. These actors act with that as an intention. So it is real. They see the bigger picture. People like Denzel, Jim Carrey, their films have been telling us for a long time. Enemy of the State's a really powerful one to show you the technology they even had then. It was like 98 or 96 when that stuff come out. That was Jumping Jack Flash. I don't think I said anything on that one. But just to go and watch, definitely go and watch some of these films now with what you know. And even if the people are portrayed as bad, they're showing you still what they can do. That's the important part. And I'm really going to be more vocal and emphasizing on these now, because there will be a point where it will change. So at least for most people that are paying attention, even if you don't believe or want to believe at the moment, that's quite an easy flip. The people that just chose just to completely shy it off, not only is the information wrong, then it becomes the people that they put their trust in, they've lied. And not only they've lied, they've done it deliberately to stop people finding out the truth. So then it's like, where do I turn? I really feel it's done deliberately on purpose. It has done deliberately on purpose. The truth movement and people that have come out of the matrix into this movement have actually gone into a deeper matrix. And we've been prepped. We've been growing this whole time. We've been able to decipher through information. We find now what resonates with us. We've all had to do that work. We've been sharing information. We've been every day looking. So we are prepped. But it doesn't mean we know everything that's going on. But we're prepped to deal with the real first-hand, in-your-face people that are in your daily lives. Because that's going to be hard. Very hard. I feel that people are going to be in for a shock. How some people have been their handlers, like people closest, you revealed all your secrets to. You've gone on holidays, they come around your like things like that. And in some cases, family members that have sold their soul. Like that's but you've been conditioned for the fact that everything else has been a lie. For the people that haven't chosen to get into that, they're just getting a Hollywood production movie with the wars and with all these election frauds and all these other things. They're getting that. And that's going to be scary on its own anyway, if we're holding on, because it'll be a scare event like 9/11 times, well, I like using that number 17 now. It has to wake us up. And also it's the Great Awakening. So not only is that part, something has to be that shocking for us then to see, whoa, look what we've got there. Look what all this was actually worth it because of that. Thank you for all the brave men and women that have been fighting for our freedom and we don't even know who they are. Thank you for all the people that have planned all this that goes back even to 1776 with George Washington, Freemason. And the Constitution. They set all this up knowing it was for this time. All these things are going to come into such importance when we see the world that we've got waiting for us. But to get that world, we need to go through this darkness. We need to really get our soul slaps to see how we have been deceived and how asleep we were and how we missed everything that was in our faces. It will also pull the whole world together, knowing that no one was right. In fact, we were far from it, well off. But we've all been through some sort of corruption of some sort at every level. Everyone has. And you can start seeing it regardless of where you are in life. Even video games, there's mostly corruption there. Mainstreamers on podcasts, the way that they get the opportunities. There's so many sex offenders that get into positions now doing healing, energy work, and they go, oh, they've got a past. All of this stuff is going to make us feel sick. However, we've been conditioned. We're getting prepared for it. Q says if we found out the whole truth, 99% of the world would be in hospital. Just think about it. Q's been right on everything. It's a military operation. 99% of the world population would be in hospital. That's something for us to really start registering, because we can argue amongst ourselves, we can nitpick with each other, but we don't realise how deep and dark it is. We hear about child trafficking and we hear about all adrenaline. We don't know how dark and sinister the world has been. Done by design. When we find out the truth about TikTok, the reason why it was set up, and in 2020, Donald Trump had to step in with an executive order. It was a national security. If people find out the truth of what that was about, grooming, selection, making people that are God's children of the light, God's children, think that they're doing something special with these little dance moves and stuff, and if you just put on mute and you'd be like, what are they doing? And they get loads of that, and their whole life now is distracted on doing it, and then you see them in the back garden with their family, and half their family members are not even happy. Like, you can see, oh, we've got to do it again, we've got to do it, and it's like if we look back from the future looking at this, we're going to go, what happened? What happened? That's how bad the world got, and that's all done by design. So 2020 was a big year because Donald Trump put in a load of things. Remember what was 2020? There's a big distraction for the whole world anyway. The 4 peace agreements with Israel, Bahrain, UAE, Sudan and Morocco. Trump did that. 2020. Trump signed in October 2020 the Human Trafficking Action Plan. How to combat it is a 61-page document. Again, no one even mentioned that, and no one still even mentions that now. That tells you what human trafficking is all about. I encourage people to go and read that. In 2020, he slashed the prices of the big pharma in 50% straight away. He took it all out in 2020. He did all of that, and we wasn't even paying attention. That was in the middle of the war. This was like when military started getting really involved in that point. But we were all distracted. We weren't paying any attention. So there's loads of things that have been going on and we wasn't aware. We're finding out a bit now. But even that, and even the way that he ran the country as president, and his staff, and some of the things with the farming, and some of the things with the education, and all these different topics that we're not aware of. They were doing things still. So for me, it's gigantic in terms of the operations that has been going on. And if you again take the size of the world, take the size of your town or your city or your country, like you don't even know half the people in that. And in some cases, you most of never even met half the people. But then you've got the whole world and every other country too. Like the size of this and the scale of this, and also how this evil system has managed to wrap itself around all of it and corrupt it all. It's mind-blowing. it cannot be explained to people. It only can be shown to people, and that has to be broken down into loads of different bite-sized explanations and video explanations and movie productions. All these things happened a long time ago. So that's going to be a big one. So things to look out for. Anyone going against the Freemasons, especially the aggression, calling them Luciferians and stuff as well, like, they're on the wrong team. They haven't done their research, and people can argue with this all you want. Freemasons is not about being in the club. There's all these different levels, you've got to work your way up. That's just been created to keep people distracted trying to infiltrate. The 33rd degree Freemason is when you're in that God space. You don't need to be in a club to be in a God space. You're then one with God's plan. And families have been fighting this for a long time. The Kennedys, we all see it all comes back to the Kennedys. There's other families that have been involved in this too. Then you've got names like Tom Hanks, Oprah, Robert De Niro, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the people that we've been told about, Ellen DeGeneres, Eminem, Ice Cube, all these people, they're good. Andrew Cuomo, Chris Cuomo, that challenges people. No, he was terrible. No, you have to go back and look at their relationships with JFK. Chris Cuomo was best friends with JFK Jr. Mario Cuomo, which is his dad, and his work's amazing when he talks about God. They were inside friends of the family. So again, a lot of optics have been going on. So there's going to be a lot of names where we've been so attached and so angry, and still you get the anger to these people. That's going to have to change. It's the anger that's going to hurt people more than anything, because you've got no one else to blame at that point. No one else to blame. So people, be prepared for loved ones and people that you mix with in your circles and who you chat with on here. When you've got no one else to blame, you blame and you go after people that are actually remaining calm. So the next condition is being able to stand. Yeah, a lot of double agents, triple agents, exactly. Has to be. How would you outsmart the enemy? No, they can't do that. No, they have to. Even AI and replacing a lot of people and using their social media still now. That had to happen. And like, even think the logic, as a military and you've managed to take control of a lot of bad people, you make people believe that they're still in control. Art of war. I've learned that it's the best. Where are we? Conserve your energy. Yeah, when talking to a person who's asleep, I've decided to let them find out. But yeah, so poor Tom Hanks gets it bad. Yeah, he's been our biggest teacher throughout this. The only thing that I say to people with Tom Hanks, because everyone did the work on Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks was the entry point. But use your logic. Show me one bad thing, a new thing that you've learned about Tom Hanks. You can't. There is none. All the stuff that he's still doing now, he's taken out. He's a clone. He's a gitmo. None of those make any sense because he's still out there now. If we're in control, why would they let that name out there? Like, think about it. He's still producing movies, still making movies. He's still on Instagram. Like, and people can't accept that part. But that is one of the names where, he's one of them for it. So the people that are vocal with it, when you change it, all of a sudden they stand out like a sore thumb. And they're not going to be able to come back from it. So the anger point at them, show me one recent thing that you've learned about Tom Hanks. Yeah, Biden's a clone, we're learning more and more about Biden every single day. Like, since 2020 to now, look at all the corruption we're learning about continuously. You can't find anything on Tom Hanks. You got another one with Lynn Wood, who's a fraud, he's not real now. He's been taken out. Show me one real video, and people defend that man with anger and stuff. And Breb, I'm telling you, Breb is a CIA, and again, CIA is good, deliberately now trying to confuse people with Flynn Bros and all that, because you need to create the whole distinction. Breb is one of the only people that actually send out research. All the lazy people that just want to moan stuff, they just go with it. So again, it's just breaking away. But show me one real video of Lynn Wood in the last 2 years. Show me one. You can't do it. All you've got is words on a Telegram page. You can't show me one thing. Type in Lynn Wood and type news on Google, and you tell me when the latest article was. There's no recent ones. Type in Biden, there's one every single day. Type in Tom Hanks, there's no recent ones apart from all the good stuff he's doing. Have you come across info on black hats? And white hats have Trump clones. JFK murder was a sting operation, top car catching them in that. So the JFK, the whole thing was a setup. If you go back to JFK's dad, in the 1920s, he had a company called RKO, Movie Production Company. This is a movie, people. We're shown movies, but this has all been a movie production for us. So that whole thing was to catch people in the act because they knew that they were trying to take him out. Done deliberately. And every other thing, the space agency now, it was JFK that said, we're going to go to the moon, we're going to go to the moon, deliberately. Knowing that they were trying to take him out. So you remove him out and then the evil people come in. So they went with the lie. Yeah, we're going to fake the moon landing. And did it. The only time we ever went to the moon was Nixon. All under Nixon. Only president where we went there. But you've caught them in the lie for that, taking the money. But that was done by us. We set it all up. Creation is done by God's people. And then you let them have it and you tell them, look what we're doing, we're lying about this, we're lying about that. And the legal system, look, they're double speaking, they're getting themselves in contract. That's still a truth until people awaken to it. Everything's passed on, they can't create. They have to have God's people to create for them with intention. So it always comes back round to God wins. So JFK, black hats people, now there's no black hats. There's people in there that are corrupt. I'm saying Matt Gaetz, but he's not. The real Matt Gaetz is not out there now. You can quite easily see. Jack Posmy-Beck, he's a corrupt one. Carrie Lake, I don't call them black hats though. They're just people that thought they could get away with what they're doing, and they're all going to be exposed too. So yeah, loads of history events. Even Hitler in the World War II. You're going to see that was a story. Because think about the world that we live in now. Back then you didn't have internet. Back then you didn't have television. So how do you tell people what's going on? Because there was more of a civil war going on. Remember, go beyond countries. It's dark versus light. Before there was always a fight for land that used to reveal itself. So there's going to be loads of things coming out about stuff like that too. So all I encourage, everything we've learned through information, but we cannot go, and you get so many people that go, I've been doing this for 20 years. You've been learning from paedophiles. You've been learning from some corrupt people. You've been learning from gatekeepers, the original ones. Because that was important to have just a few select ones to stop people knowing the full truth. So we have more information. We can put more things together. We can definitely have more conversations with people. But again, you have to let go of saying, I know. Because look what's changed in the last 3 years on its own. On the news briefly, Loke, John Jr. had his ashes in the ocean in the box. Interesting. Do you think we locked down this year for the changeover? I feel there's going to be something like that. It has to be. Because it has to be a scare factor for people to pay attention to. And there's got to be a clean-up phase more on everyday society, the corporate world. And there's a book that I read called Red Notice, where overnight all these companies and organisations in Russia just got closed down because of the corruption and stuff there. Bill Browder, I think his name was, who wrote that book. So it has been done in other countries. So we're going to see something like that. I feel that you have to have people locked in. There's certain things that have been said to us for a long time. Make sure you stock up. That's a big one. Make sure you got rations and you've got food. That's got to be done by design. Are you following the debt clock with the secret door? I watched some of them. I like the one where it said, and Jesus went in and I think it was to remove all the people with their riches and stuff from in the temple. The temple is here now. So it's just, again, it's teasing, it's getting people talking about it, and all of this is words of manifesting. Event in 2012 with arrest wars coming before. Yeah, I'm going with that too. You got to think Donald Trump election 2024 November. This election will be the biggest red wave ever, and I feel like it has to go ahead because people need to see that their vote did count and that they did all unite and win, and that would be a big celebration. So we've got a window now. For that to happen, all these other things come in. We're at the top of the ladder of the Epstein. And Maxwell's name still hasn't come into it yet, and Robert Maxwell, where it all started from. So what I feel that happened, Robert Maxwell was doing all this with Mossad and was taking and corrupting a lot of these top officials and getting material on them and photos and stuff where they could use it for blackmail. He got taken out in 91 and it was a random murder they didn't even say it was a murder in the news. He was on his boat out on his own and they just found him floating. For me, he was taken out, and I feel that around that time you see the video with Epstein going into Mar-a-Lago. It's all around the same time, and I feel that they used Ghislaine Maxwell. Her negotiation was, look, this is your dad's business, but this is what you're going to do. You're going to be working for us now. If you watch the film The Grey with Ryan Gosling, he was an ex-criminal inside, and the CIA approached him and said, you're going to be working for us now. And he said, how long for? And he said, whenever. Catch me if you can. What's his name? Leonardo DiCaprio in that, after he went and worked for them. The gangster film with Denzel Washington in New York. He was an informant for them then. The Departed, Jack Nicholson, the top boss, was actually an FBI informant too. So all of these movies have been telling us that. So some of these people and some of these big names that we're going, they're still telling us, they're still going to be under arrest, or they're still going to be, but they've got a role to play. So I think Ghislaine Maxwell and the Epstein was a honeypot, but it was to continue doing what they did, knowing that the technology's out now as well. So you can make new fake millionaires out of nowhere. And people want more power, so they make the St. James, and they had people come there, and there was, on the Q post it talks about there was 2 parts to that. There was one with underage girls, and then there was one for like satanic worship, like Baphomet, all that horrible stuff, the owl. But you managed to bring them all out. As soon as they got to that island, they would have been disposed and taken care of. It would have been a planned operation. We also heard that Hugh Hefner was CIA. Again, same sort of thing, blackmail. So you continue doing that, but you go to the very top, knowing that people are desperate to get to the top. Epstein in 2008, where he got a prison sentence, but he was out for 12 hours a day in his house. So people are like, I need to know this guy. So I feel like a part of that, and everything we're seeing at the moment is just a part of the movie. I could be wrong in that, but I'm convinced that was what happened with Ghislaine Maxwell at that point. And she's got dirt. Remember, it's not just the high-end people, it's how it runs all down in every part of society. New person said how we might be hearing from Epstein himself. Yeah, I'd agree with that. You're going to see that would shock the world too, wouldn't it? I'm here and we're going to be better off. You don't even need to hear about that. It was like the world's going to change completely. It's hard to even imagine, but you've got to think creation, science, the understanding of our body, the way that the world works, like that's all been kept back from everyone on purpose. So when it does happen, this great awakening, it'll just be a new start for everyone whilst evil's been removed. Otherwise, and that's why again the maps have been created by us, so you can't tell people where things are. Harry Truman and his expedition to Antarctica, knowing that the sun goes down and it keeps melting new land. So over the years, people have managed to find new land and they claim it all and they got the story. That was stopped, so we were contained in the Truman Show. It's Harry Truman, Freemason. If you look at the Truman Show, Jim Carrey, it's pretty much all the way that his life was being controlled and manipulated. That's our life. We've been traffic victims. There is a system that has its own credit score rating. We blame China, but that's them. It's a system. You realise why there's so many homeless people on the streets? It's because that they've mostly messed up too many times and now they're just forgotten about. The veterans, they got a lot of the veterans or the soldiers, they got screwed out. And they went to all these fake wars and doing all this terrible stuff, and then you're forgotten about. That's not just the good people forgotten about, it's their system. Leave the world behind. Executive producer is Obama. Dr. Northrup said the movie is there to change our minds and frequency. People will suffer from depression after watching. It's putting fear into their thing. Obama wasn't the executive producer of it though, because Obama's been taken and dealt with for a while. That's just to get more people paying attention to it. Think about the logic of that. Trump would have dealt with Obama in 2016 as soon as he come in. And if you look at Tim Allen's interview on Saturday Night Live, he even says it like a slip of the tongue. I went to Trump's thing, it was massive, big events, and Trump come in and the ex-president was taken that way and the Marines went this way. He was dealt with straight away. And again, we replace them and carry them on. When you saw Obama giving the awards to Bill Gates, that's not Bill Gates. Then you saw it with Robert De Niro. Then you saw it with Ellen and Oprah and Tom Hanks. That was 2018. Trump was already president then. Obama wouldn't have been giving out them. That's a production done on purpose. Ricky Gervais, when he calls them all out, that whole audience, white hats, they're all part of it. Yeah, I saw Tom Hanks' face. Yeah, they're acting. No win for this time. So you've got to think logically. These people knew what was going on a long time ago, the military. We've only found out about a lot of stuff, but a lot of things were already happening before we even woke up to it. Trump's trip around the world was 2017. A lot of us woke up to Trump's amazing work in 2020. So you had a lot going on even then. And the focus on Trump. The focus was on Trump so much, but think about all of his entourage. And think about the worldwide alliance. And think about mainstream media already getting seized and taken care of. And then projecting that it's fake news, knowing that there was a breakaway. So they can now point at the government, they can point at Big Pharma, they can point at fake news, they can point at the adrenochrome, and they can point at the Hillary Clintons and blame all them. And they felt like they could get away with it. That's the truth movement. And that's going to be the hardest thing for people to accept, because we've all been part of the truth movement. We talk as we. We're fighting the same fighter then. But that's a movie. So Q says there's 3 movies simultaneously. One is the Pfizer. Pfizer brings down it all. But for people to understand the Pfizer, we've had to be taken on the journey. The second movie was Panic in DC. These politicians at the moment are panicking. Again, a lot of the names that we like, you're going to see are corrupt. Carrie Lake's a big one. Like, she's going for Senate now and she hasn't got a clue what she's on about. She lost the governor race, which she shouldn't have, and we all knew that there was cheating going on. But she did nothing to investigate and prove it all. If I was Carrie Lake and it was legit, you'd have got all the other people, Dr. Oz and I can't even remember half the names of people that lost, and you'd have got them involved fighting. Blake Masters, that was in Arizona. You'd have said, come on, let's all get involved. She was caught in the lie. Now she's going for Senate. It's done on purpose. Again, you need these names as a shock factor, because me, personally, I loved Carrie Lake. I went to see her live 5 times when I was in Arizona, and I felt the energy. But I didn't realise that Arizona was such a corrupt state. She's talking to the hair people. So the energy was real. I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to do this. And then you got, we love you, Carrie. Like, the energy exchange was there. It's just more out of fear than anything else. So, yeah, everything twists and turns. So I know that there's going to be a number of things that I'm wrong about. I know, however, that the Freemasons are the ones that are fighting the Catholic Church, which is all linked to paedophilia and Satan and links down to everything else. That's gone on for generations. Kevin Spacey's putting clues out, yeah. And people, me included, thought he was one of the worst. We were told when he went to the island, no one else could go. Again, it's a story. He was on a program called The House of Cards. Everything we've been told is the House of Cards are falling. And that interview on... Can you hear me? Let me just message my dad back. Awesome, right, so I'm back. So yeah, the twists and turns. So I know that I'm right about that. Tom Hanks, I know I'm right about that. I that's a knowing now. And people and the reason why I know I'm right on that is because everyone that disagrees with me, not one of them has taken the time to go and watch my Connecting the Dots, and not one of them's watched the Connecting Dots and then come back and gone, that bit, no. Like, none of them. No one's even attempted that. Everyone that has watched it said, okay, it makes sense. I was still unsure, but no one's been able to dismiss any of it. They can't go through the points one by one. They're not willing to talk about it. I know that's right. Tom Hanks was the reason why a lot of people actually took the time to go and look, because such a name. And also when we look back, you're going to go, how did you fall for that? Tom Hanks pedo. It's like, stupid. Done by design. Again, we're unable to look at things through a higher perspective, through a military perspective, because a lot of us don't have that as an experience. So we look at what we know. We look at the things that we've had in our experience. Yet there's a lot more things that have gone on that we're unaware of still. And the technology that's available and the way that they can use AI and quantum and stuff. Look at Q on its own. Q started 2017. When do you think that technology started? It wasn't like, oh, we got this new technology, let's just put something out now. It's been a plan in the making for ages. That's so sophisticated. So all these sort of things, we can think we know it, or we're far away. So I know I'm right about some of them, and I know I'm right because no one's ever been able to get close to proving any of the points that I put out wrong. Instead, it's me. I'm the problem. But they won't look at it. Someone today, a commenter, I used to follow your stuff until you talked about Tom Hanks, and now you change your mind on Carrie Lake. I back up everything, I share it all. Watch the information first, and no, they won't do it all. So those sort of things. I also know that there's a number of names that I put out there because I've backed up the research on it, and I've shared it all where I'm very confident. However, I know for a fact that I'm going to be wrong on a lot of stuff too. I'm open for that. I'm definitely not attached to see, and I'm definitely not attached to people anymore because I feel like I've been let down with people that I had looked up to. Are gatekeepers and truth keepers not the same? Yeah, I'd say they're the same. Gatekeepers is information. So gatekeepers, you could say priests at a church that push the message that Jesus is the only person that can come down to save you, and that you are a sinner and you're going to go to hell and damnation and the scare factors. That's still a gatekeeper, because you're gatekeeping the real truth coming out, that God's all within us. We are descendants of Christ. We all can go into Christ consciousness state from that place of love. If we were just shown it, it'd be easy. Be still, the kingdom of heaven is within you. They don't tell you things like that, but they're all in the scriptures too. So gatekeepers, truth keepers is just the people in this movement now. I call them the truth tellers. It's the ones on the main platform. And again, unwilling to even have a conversation. I think I had one the other day that people saw with another guy. He took them off. He called me out and everything. They're not up there anymore. Because the information that when we do question, they haven't got anything apart say, oh no, I don't trust that. I don't believe in that. Meditation, or it doesn't resonate with me. If you're scared of meditation, there's something wrong. If you're not willing to do meditation is prayer. It's the same thing. Prayer, you ask for God. Meditation, you receive from God. To ask God, you want to be still. You don't want the distraction and chaos and noise outside. You want to be silent and still. So anything that does come to you, you know that's God straight away. There's no confusion there. What are we? Truth seekers? Sorry, I don't know. Truth, however you want to label it. That's the problem, is that we're all in one category together. I don't like labeling myself anything. I call myself a truther. But there's loads of truthers. I say the truth movement's definitely more corrupt than not. But over time, more and more people are waking up, and there's a lot of people that are just being, unfortunately, following the wrong people. And a lot of that just comes down to awareness, and a lot of it comes down to fear. People gravitate to the energy that they're putting out. Certain truthers I've never even heard of, and people would show me. Yeah, so labels, that's the big problem. Countries, we defend countries. Race, we defend race because we're one or we're that, and you defend it. And I can trigger so many people if I said certain things about a country, instantly it'd come back. So beliefs, attachments, opinions, none of that's a truth. Words, none of that can be a truth. It's energy. Energy then you feel, it's an experience. And from that feeling, you try to express yourself. You try to communicate. You try a number of ways where you can put that down through words, through dance, through painting. Now we have technology to break it down even more so for people to understand. It still can never be the full truth. The full truth is a feeling that you experience and you can confirm and stand on. That's been the hardest thing, because when we do put out things that are controversial, you get attacked and people go personal, and we're not equipped to it. So this is where the soul coaching comes in too. Soul coaching is all about bringing awareness to the ego. I can never tell you the truth. I can never tell you what true love is. I can never tell you what God is. I can point you in the direction. I can share my experiences, and I can highlight what is the opposite of that. I can show you that's fear, that's not love. I can show you that's anger, that's not God. That's instant. So it's how long will we be locked down for? You suggested being locked down, I didn't. So the scare event, there's going to be 24 hours. But we don't know what that looks like. We've heard about 15-minute cities. That's how martial law sets up and stuff. We don't know what countries or what areas are going to be impacted. We don't know on that. So again, no, time and things like that doesn't. For me, it doesn't matter. But you mentioned lockdown, not me. So yeah, all I encourage people is just watch, be open, pay attention to energy, look at fear, anger. If you know that Trump is in control and we're getting closer and closer, that should be more and more exciting. That should be more and more joyful. There should be celebrations almost in the midst of us now. But yet many people are not talking about any of that. It's more about surviving. It's more about looking out for each other. We've got to stand up now. Civil war perhaps. This is a rescue mission. Light beings are helping us for the last ascension cycle here on Earth. Normally every 2,000 years, the wall that Trump built is a frequency tech, possibly healing. Perhaps even 2,000 years. When we say things like that. So we're in 2023. You said 2,000 years ago, yet the calendar only started in 1500. There was no calendar ever before then. So when people say all these dates from before, we can never ever back that up and confirm it, ever. There's mostly people that know and got an idea from Sunsight, but we can never confirm that. Because the calendar started in 1500. Think about it. If you take time out, which is a man-made concept, it's helped speed things up, it's helped predict, it's helped explain, it's helped pinpoint events, it's helped people make more sense of this experience. You take that away again, you're just here. You're here now, having an experience. So I encourage people, all these sort of things, just pay attention to the words that we say. Because we're told these events, but how do we know that even is the case? Light beings rescuing us and things like that, we don't know. Yeah, the calendar one's interesting. Go and search when was the calendar first created. And then you've got examples of Vedic calendars and stuff. None of them had dates on there. None of it was confirmed. And again, if you even take the concept of time, who decided that the time started now? Because it had to start 1, 2, 3. Who decided, right, let's start the clock now? How have they done that? And you've got to think about the way that they've managed to get a whole clock system for the whole world that all runs on different time zones and stuff. How did they decide that? There had to be a moment where now, think about it. It's all made up. 1, 2, 3. How have they even come up with that? They've mostly taken the pulse, boom, boom. They've mostly worked out the time that the sun goes around the day. Even that. If you say 2,000 years, let's take that number. The sun, how do we know that over 2,000 years it's still 24 hours a day? You wouldn't know, because we've never had any reference from it. There could be 2,000 years cycle, 10,000, we don't know. So just all that sort of thing, take away days, take away weeks, take away months, what do you have? You just remove it completely. You have a stress-free life, that's for sure. Another clock timer, 7 days, looking forward to seeing what happens. Yeah, that's just helping people manifest a bit more. Again, a need for something to happen and panic for everyone else. I've seen the time stand still for several minutes and I wasn't sure why. Yeah, it's been interesting on that. I know in Mauritius, that some of the islands, Mauritius by Africa, some of the islands, they change the time depending on what the sun is on that day. It changes by an hour or so. Why the event in Miami is so big secret? They say Saudi Giant. If they say Saudi Giants is pulling Saudi in, you say a big secret. From who? Who's telling us about it? I didn't see it on the mainstream news. I saw it in the Truth Movement. Again, be careful on things like that. We don't know. And then you get people like, same with Hawaii, and the amount of people still that bring that up. What about the children? Where are the children? It was an inside job, it was a government. No, it wasn't. It's a human trafficking operation out there, and they dealt with them. The children of darkness is being destroyed continuously. So when they say it's all about the children, their children, it's satanic. A lot of these devil worshippers, which is all a fake thing anyway, the devil and Satan, a lot of it is from these group of people. They corrupt every part of society, trying to stop recreation. So they go for the kids, then it's the indoctrination, then it's the gay agenda. Now you're seeing a lot more lesos and lesbians everywhere because they've run out of men. Then getting married, you capture women as a prisoner, you keep them, you hold them, money, corporations, it's all big. At the very top, they know what's going on. And I've seen I've seen how a lot of it works now because of my time in the city. I had 2 gyms in London for 12 years, and some of my clients, the fitness world is a revolving door to let people who messed up a bit come out, and it allows people that have maybe been in prison to come back in because you can get a qualification in PT and get back into the system. Same with the coaching world. It's like a recruitment. You get out of the corporate world and then you change, and you've changed your life. It's because what you're doing in the corporate world was human trafficking. The recruitment industry is awful when you see what really goes on there. So yeah, there's loads. The thing is, people, and I've tried, I've had a few explanations. I always say to people, there's so much happening, there's so many changes going on, and you try to have a conversation and you just look crazy. And I know I sound crazy a lot of the time. It's just some of these names I can back up with my research. I've done hours of certain things that people are not willing to even go, right, you keep going on about Tom Hanks, for example, or Ellen. I said, go watch my breakdown with Ellen and P. Diddy. It's 2 hours, go and watch it. You can't argue with it. But they're not willing to. That's the thing. But then it's my fault and this. So I'm waiting to see what happens then, because it's going to be the blame game still, and it's the anger that's going to come through. Because also, to find out you were wrong, even though all your intentions are right, all the research you did, all the time that you've dedicated, all the sacrifice had to be made, all the loved ones someone said about waking up, all of that, and then we're still wrong. That's going to be hard. That's going to be so hard. But the wrong part is not wrong because it's all part of this awakening. It's a spiritual journey. It's darkness into light. It's all the struggles, it's all the challenges, it's all the tests that get changed. It becomes the solutions, it becomes the teachings. Everything then transforms into a message that we can then share with the world after. We can pass down to our loved ones. We can pass down to their kids and grandkids. Because we were here at the Great Awakening. We were in this war. There'll be talking points for the rest of our life. Movies and productions and books and personal stories of people will all be on this moment. So there's loads to look forward to. Loads to look forward to. Just know that the attacks will intensify. Mine definitely coming. I've had people after me for a long time, like chasing me around the world. Turning up at my places, and some of the messages I still get, and things I get accused of. Like I said, I back everything up that I put out. My whole thing now is to show God is real, and God is within us. Israel, it's land, the law, land, air and water, all of it. Yeah, I think so too. All know is we are on the right side of history, indeed. And imagine being shown what you've gone through, and being shown all the deception around you and all the people out to get you. You will get shown that because the technology, we have it all. Then you're going to start appreciating how amazing you are, how powerful your soul is, how that intuition that did kick in at the right time and you did listen to it. And you'll realise what the repercussions would have been if you didn't. That's all going to be able and will have access to. Every bit of energy, they'll be able to recapture it. That's why all truths will be revealed. It's energy. From dark to light, it's the shade and shadows in our body that will come out. It gets uncomfortable when you've got nothing else to blame apart from this uncomfortable feeling in there. It's uncomfort because it's not true. It's not ringing right. It's not resonating. It's coming out. And it's the way that we deal with that. So all I encourage now is to look out for energy more than anything else. Who's remaining calm? Who's being able to stand on their truth? Who's got a smile on their face? Who's sharing information and helping, guiding? Because we're all going to be in this together, and you're going to see the world will come together even more so. Once the storm is blown over, the new world begins. Yeah, Ivor. And the new world, that's just going to be a continuation for all of us. But all of us on here are going to have so important roles to play when it comes to rebuilding and reteaching and re-educating. And also the removal of the legal system and that need to go to work and do a 9 to 5. That time's going to be used for you and your loved ones. I appreciate your daily posts. You're like gasoline to our tanks. Thank you. I'm using AI all the time now to do all my editing on my videos because I've been screwed over so much over the time. So all these lives now, I can send it on a website called Opus, and it'll convert it into a load of minute videos. And I'm just trying to build up and buff up my YouTube page because it's tough putting this stuff out there. It's I don't get clients anymore, I don't get referrals, I don't get testimonials. It's been a real challenge. However, I keep saying my time comes after, and it's the new world I'm excited about. To be able to do things where, again, you're going to be noted, you're going to be recommended, you're going to be asked, can you please go over to there? It'll be like the messengers and the disciples again, but a lot more of us. What's your thoughts on Mel Gibson? He's supposed to be bringing out a second film on Jesus. I remember watching The Passion of Christ, I cried all the way through. I still think they've all had their role to play, all of them. Their roles outside of is still a movie that they're acting on. I feel like most of Hollywood had a part to play on it. The Passion of Christ, the way that they depict Jesus is all backwards and it's all gory, and I'm a big fan of that. I encourage people to watch The Chosen, but Mel Gibson will come back into it soon. I know Trump tweeted on him. We can send you a coffee. Yeah, you can send a coffee. Coffee works well. That's my favourite thing at the moment. Coffee shop and my laptop in the morning. I've got to buy me a coffee page actually. Harry Soul Coach. I can leave a thing on there. So yeah, anything like that would be much appreciated. Someone called me out the other day for making money off the movement, and I'm going to do a video and I'm going to show you how much I have made from my social media accounts. And I challenge anyone to put theirs up there, and we'll see the difference. We'll see the difference. My Rumble, I've made $250 in 2 years. You'll see the difference in terms of the numbers, and you'll work it out. So again, the wealth in the new world will be service, and with that service, they say, go and stay here, go and stay here. We'll fly you here. I want to create a whole retreat centre. I've got the whole concept already. So there's loads. Again, we're in a war. That's the best way to look at it. When I was told about World War II, and they were in war for 5 years, and they were underground and all these sort of things, and they were rationing. If you take it from 2020, we've only been in a war just for a few years. So, and we'll be able to live comfortably compared to some of these other countries that have gone through war and their house has just been bombed and taken out, and you don't see your family members ever again, or even then you don't hear from them for about 3 months. Can you imagine all the things that people have gone through? So there's loads of positives within that, and all of this, and every single one that has gone through this journey has learned so much more about each and every one of ourselves in the last few years than we have in their whole life. The amount of information we've downloaded whole life. What's your thoughts on Robin Williams playing? Interesting. I haven't really looked at that one. Could be things like that now. It makes sense to a lot of these characters to come back in. You've done wonders to my life. I was at a low when I found you. Thank you so much. And I'm guessing that's flipped to the opposite now. Opposite of low is high. High. And all we got to do is keep above the high and keep turning up every day as the high. And as soon as you do that, you look down at your kingdom. You go hiking. You get to the top of the mountain and you look down. And when you're above, and my analogy now is all the gatekeepers, as you're getting more and more knowledge and awareness, there's a higher altitude, so there's less people up there. But these people up there, they know how the word works and free will and spell casting. They know that God's children can manifest what they want, so they have to corrupt them through fear, through deception. So the higher up you go, there's more criminals up there too, because they know God and their job is to stop people getting there. But as soon as you break through, it's like the sun pierces through the clouds, then you shine back down. High King, yes. So optimal health for the human being, the three-part being, is High King for the body, High King, asking questions for the mind as King, and then being for the soul is King. As you do the journey, you cross over, 33rd vertebra, you cross over from hello to halo. It's the journey of Christ. It's all in plain sight. The English language has got all the clues in it, and it's been created for us. And soon you're going to see a lot of the stuff that has been written in text has got even more than a double meaning. Yeah, it's magic. There's so much magic to all of this. And again, it's all come from us learning about what's been going on in the external world, and then being able to process it and feel it and experience it in our inner world. And now we've got the match in the mirror. Hi Adele, good to see you. Thank you all for the information. You're very welcome. What else was I going to say to people? This week I'm going to be putting out a number of prayers as a meditation format to show you that if you can get the body and the mind calm, then your prayers will be answered within that session. Not waiting. You'll get some really, really powerful insights, and there'll be shorter ones as well. So that'll be this week I'll put out. That'll all be on the YouTube channel. 15 minutes max. So I encourage people, get them going. And the way that we just turn up each day, as you awaken in the morning, literally be grateful. Say a powerful statement. Speak to your mind, speak to your body. Look in the mirror, notice and appreciate. That's how you start the day. It's a great way. Then when you go to bed, before you go to bed, do exactly the role. Reverse. You set intentions. Your sun sets. Your soul sets. Again, speak to yourself in the mirror. Talk to your body this time. Hey Lisa, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. And yeah, speak to your body. Talk to it. What do you want it to do? All the information you got from the day, let your body do what it needs to. Let your soul go off in the dreams and pull back some images, and then produce and put in a movie format for you to have the dream about. Whose dreams have intensified recently? The amount of people from my old life in my dreams at the moment is very interesting. I had a really funny one, and I wrote down, and I write notes down, and let me get my notes up from last night, and this will be a finish up. So I had my dream yesterday, and there's a lot of people from my old work at the moment that keep coming up. And where is it here? This was my writing today. I was in a car with Putin, President Putin. So my dream today, I was in a car with Putin, and my note says, Putin made me weigh my food. My food was 2 grams over my allowance, and I was not allowed to eat it, and he kicked me out the car. And then my old business partner was walking with me, and I'm like, why has he kicked me out the car? And he was negotiating with me, get his details still, let me have his details. That was my dream. I woke up, it was about 12 o'clock at night, so I wasn't even in the sleep for that long. And that's what come up for me today. Don't know what that means. Just don't be greedy with my food, I guess. Hey Jen, good to see you. Right, I can't believe what's surfacing. It is all surfacing though, right? I say hello to everyone now, love that. Looking forward to that. Yeah, so I'll put them out there, people. Every day as well. If you just want a bit of motivation, the YouTube shorts are now on Instagram and TikTok as well. I've got an AI app that does that for me now. It's called Repurpose. So I can put them all on there. And then there is some good motivational ones also on the videos. It's more learning, it's educating. And I realise that more people want to know what's going on right now. So I'm going to do one this week on Rumble and try to break down the Epstein documents that are being released, and also just to bring more awareness to things that are going on, because we are at a very close point now to that domino falling. You can feel it, it's swinging. We're at the high point. Pfizer brings down the house. That's all the Obama stuff. So at the moment you got Donald Trump's going to Washington tomorrow. And is that the account with the M on TikTok? Indeed. Yeah, I don't know why it's got an M on there. I've been banned on TikTok so many times, so I have to make up different email addresses that I can use a new account. So I've got some random email addresses. Remember me from TT. They banned me from my January the 6th footage. Wolves protect them. Not too sure. Hopefully you're not someone else that's got wolves in the name that I block them all the time. I'm banned on X. That's mostly for your protection now, because that's just keeping all the criminals in there. Elon Musk's thing got declined by the Supreme Court today as well. He's a sellout to the CCP, so we're going to see that too. So exciting. These weeks will be spicy. Yeah, it's going to be very spicy. But all those things that I just said, that's all happening now. So you got Epstein where the main focus is, but Donald Trump's going with evidence tomorrow for the election in 2020. As soon as that goes public, that's that big executive order, all assets seized, foreign interference. That then brings in a lot of other names. That then brings in January the 6th. That then brings in all these people that did go there peacefully, that were infiltrating, that all had part of a plan. That then brings in people like Pelosi's, and then that brings in Biden and Ukraine and Taiwan, and it's a big cycle. So that's what I mean. We're so close to these things that are all going to mix. And all of it will come back to Obama and Hillary Clinton. I still share as I knew it would be from your reply. Yeah, TikTok's interesting because I don't know if they're bots or not, but some people, it's just, I feel like saying, why are you even alive? That's what I feel like saying, why are you even here? You spend your whole life, and every time I block you, and I've had about, 60 accounts on TikTok, like that many accounts. And it's the same time they come back. I got one guy from my area that actually went Zante years ago. It's a Greek island. He's so angry. It's like, and I always got to give 1 or 2 comments back first. I always go at their anger, they're miserable. But it's like people don't want good news. But I just realised that there are a lot of negative people. I've got 2 TikTok accounts. One, the spiritual stuff, the soul coach and stuff. And then I've got one with, I think it's Harry the Soul Coach 333. I don't do TikTok. I can't be doing with it. Yeah, it's scary of how indoctrinated people are on that. It's just outreach is much better on that one. And for me, it's easy to create the videos. So I make it on TikTok, and now I can put them on the other ones. And people don't have a time attention to watch a video more than 5 minutes, let alone my connecting dots. So you need to kind of catch them. And I find it really difficult to put them in 1 minute and keep it within 3 minutes. So again, it's just trying to get the word out there as much as I can, and putting my perspective and spin on certain things. And again, it's the trolls, it's the anger, it's dealing with all of that, and it's just a whole learning curve. The amount of times, if I was to put indents in my lips and bite my tongue and actually count how many times, I'd have to have a new tongue over the last few. And sometimes I put on things and I start writing it to say you've gone over the limit, and that's God just saying, no, don't send it, don't bother, wait, just block them, block. It's just, sometimes I want to get my my comment in. Again, it's just TikTok. So I guarantee that a lot of the realizations is we've been arguing with bots and AI replacements in the end, and we're all going to go. So, those replies will keep coming, Jem. I'm the cowboy horse farrier conspiracy guy. I had 70,000 followers. We used to chat all the time. It's all good. Honestly, I've had so many accounts. It's hard to remember. But welcome on here. You're doing awesome, Joe. Learning so much from you. Thank you so much. So, people, all I'm going to say is lots of positivity putting out there. Enjoy what we are being presented with. You do great, risk a lot, appreciate, man. Thank you. And thank you for everyone that always tunes in on these shows and leaving their comments. I do that sometimes. This is why I'm giving them my energy. But I still think it's important to be able to let certain things out. And also, there's certain comments that are being said that I've got a question that never gets answered. So one of them, it works every time, and they never come back. So remember when I said there's a lot of criminals in the truth movement? and you get people that say the word like hopium and stuff. And then you get the odd twat, and I call them a twat, but you get the odd twat that'll come in and go, no one's coming to save us. Trump's not coming to save us. And my question back is, can you tell me what we need saving from? And then I throw it at them. I put the you in there. What do you need saving from? You keep mentioning about a saviour. What do you need saving from? What you've done? Never, ever, ever, ever even gets a response. Ever. So that's a great one. And every time. And people remember, I've had about 60 accounts. And every single one of those accounts, I block the same accounts many times. And they always come back. Always come back. I've still got the little stalker that makes all these different accounts for it. And I go back with the same statement on those ones when people mention saviour. So if anyone talks about that, no one's coming to save, you always won't be last without press. I think I've done that impression all the time. But those like the Modi whingy people all the time, that's constant. I can imagine them waking up, and do you know why I do that voice quite a lot as well? I lived with a woman like that in Arizona. Angry patriot. Just angry, like the washing machine. You need to come out, you need to fix it. And then her screen's broken on her car window. Constantly, look at this. And then she'd show one on Joe Biden, and it'd be, it's not Joe Biden. That's not Joe Biden. And then like 2 days later, Joe Biden. That's not Joe Biden. The amount of times I lost my shit and I had to move out in the end. I got kicked out of the house. Get out of my house, you rude person. And all I did was, it was like I just got this imaginary list, and I just, everything that she frustrated me on, it all come out. And I said, you know why you haven't got a job? It's because no one likes your energy. You're angry. And it was like she just got soul slapped after soul slap. You can remember the lottery, and it was that big U, that hand. She just got one that was going back and forth like that. Or in the Gladiator, you had the big sponge. She was just getting a back slap all the time. And the list was massive. I didn't let her come in, and it was just constant. And as I let it out, the voice in my head was, you're going to have to get out. And the next words that come out, get out of my house now. So that was my last proper outburst. I wish I recorded it though, because it was like watching a movie, see you next Friday, and they're like, say what? Oh. But everything I said. And the thing is, people, I'm so present in all of my conversations now that my memory is amazing. I remember everything of my conversation because I'm present. And if you piss me off, I remember. If you've set me up, I remember. I wait for a time and I will go back to it if I need to. I don't need to bring it up. But this woman poked my buttons so much, it all come out. And it was like a rehearsed performance by me, because it come out in flow. It come out with a bit of aggression, and it was like my foot has gone down so many times that your upstairs has turned into one floor now. Like, that's it, no more. So don't push my buttons that much. Thank you. Always have a great night. Yeah, thank you, people. I'll see you all very soon. So take care.